Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am fired up to have you join us today. I met my guest a couple of months ago. We did a podcast together, and I just love this guy, what he's doing. He's got a big heart, a big servant's heart. So you can't get your notepad and paper out, and pen and paper. I always say that wrong. Get your pen and paper out because you'll want to take notes. I've got mine ready right here. Now, we dedicated this show to purpose. What's that purpose? The servant's heart in your business and your life, because they cross over all the time. Having that purpose, the impact you make is magical. I get to do it every day. I did it with my guests today, helping them out and transform them a little bit. You get to do that today. We're also bringing guests on, like my guest today is going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you in so many different subjects with that servant's heart mentality. Here's your homework today. Think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you create today. As I said earlier, it's the best feeling in the world, but the key word is today. Don't wait. Watch this incredible show and go out and serve somebody. It could be big or small. It doesn't matter. When you serve, and we're going to talk about this on the show, the universe loves it. We'll smile on you. And today's episode is sponsored by Pantheon. Join a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders who are creating a world-changing thought leader platform to not only grow your business, but make an impact in the world. So you have a link in the show notes, and any questions about that, just reach out to me. Impact, difference, I talk about that in that monologue, but how would you like to do that for your children? For you? What's the cost of school right now? It's expensive. Well, to get your ROI on that, you've got to know what you're doing, and what you don't know, you don't know. My guest is going to teach us all about that. Curtis, welcome to the show.
Steve, it's such an honor and a pleasure, and it's just so great to be around somebody with your energy and your positivity.
Well, it helps when you do what you do. And let's start off. You had a career in finance. And then tell us what was the inspiration, the impetus to go, I'm going to do career coaching. I'm going to help people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I've, ever since I was little, I think I just always had an urge to make people's lives easier, to make people's lives better, to share what I know. You know, I've been grateful to have had a successful career and learned a lot in my career, learned a lot in life, right? We've had a challenging family life as well, with some health challenges in our family. And I've just learned incredible lessons and pulled all that in and to make me more of a whole person, but also a better coach and advisor. So throughout my career in finance, I was mentoring people, I was leading teams, always was helping people rise, seeing the best in them and recognizing that I have nothing to fear by promoting someone who's absurdly talented. It's actually the opposite. If they're as good as I hope they are, they're going to make us all better. And they're going to make me look good as their boss. So, and that's how it all worked out. I don't see that enough in the world. And all that time I was also, obviously, college students would reach out to me and say, hey, can you give any advice? More than advice, I want to help you win. So I would help them craft a resume. I would help them think about how they talk about themselves, their own personal narrative, and how to network. And then I decided, okay, I've had my fill of finance, I think, after 30 plus years. I'd rather just go really where my heart wants to go, which is to do this full time. So that was summer of 2024.
Passion just takes over, doesn't it?
Yes. And there's, to your point, there's just so much joy that comes from it. because I do have so much I can share. And having been an insider for so long, and as I often say, having been in that interview room more than 500 times on both sides of the table, I really can help these people showcase their talent and rise to the top when it comes down to those interviews.
Yeah.
And they end up getting the offers, they end up getting the jobs. So
Yeah.
I feel almost obligated because I care about them and I know what it takes. So I feel almost obligated to help them.
And the key here is know what it takes, because educational system, I'm gonna be honest, sucks. I hear too many stories. You probably heard a ton of them, right?
And yes, and education has become so absurdly expensive and unreachable for so
Yeah.
many people. You would think it would become more pragmatic and career focused, but it hasn't. Not enough. So we have, unfortunately, so many students, well-intentioned families sending their kids off to college, but without a real plan. I often talk about the fact the primary focus of families in America today is getting their kid in the best college they can, without a plan for what the child's going to do when they get there and how to get them out. And those are the things I focus on. It's really about your college career can be really fun. It's about growing up and learning a lot, but it's about preparing for what comes next. And what comes next is the next 60 years of your life.
Yeah.
So that's what I focus on. And what I use this analogy all the time. Some parents come back, well, I don't want to put more stress on my child. And I say, I don't either. But if your child waits till junior year to start thinking about these things, it's like reading a 500-page English literature book the night before it's due. I'd rather read 15 pages a night for the entire college career. That's less stressful. So that's what I'm proposed to do. The earlier I can start working with someone, the more relaxing it will be, the more successful they will be, because they'll have time to implement all the steps that are required.
And so many people are complaining about they get out of college and they got these big bills, big education bills. So for 20 years, they're struggling because they don't have this thing they have to pay off. How do you help relieve that pain a little bit? Because it is pain.
100%. And the facts, this is what you said at the beginning is 100% true. Parents and families don't know what they don't know. So there's this big study, you talk about taking notes. There's this big study that was completed February last year called Talent Disrupted, the 10-year study about graduate outcomes. More than 50% of recent college graduates have taken a first job that does not require a college degree. And 80% of them remain what is called underemployed 10 years later. So the idea that when you and I came out of school, yeah, I'll try something. If it doesn't work, I'll pivot. It doesn't work so well anymore. The first job matters a lot. And this underemployment means you're making more than 50% less than your classmates who have a college level job. So that's loss of self-esteem. That is loss of confidence. That is unfulfilling. You're not earning enough. It's just a really frightening prospect. And parents don't know that's what it's like, because it was not like that when we graduated from school.
Right. It's changed a lot. And then the pressure on the parents, if they're paying for the school, that bill falls on their lap. So now they only have, right?
Yes. And they don't know how to advise these kids, right? They don't know how the job market has changed. Right. And I've had so many parents say to me, like, I said, look, I offer two things. Number one, the background, knowledge, and experience that actually will help get them to the finish line. I know exactly what it takes. And number two, you don't have to do it. And take it off your plate. So you don't have a stressful relationship with your child. You're letting someone else deal with all that stuff. And you can have this loving relationship with your child that you've always wanted. I have a 15-year-old who's a great student. There's no high school math I can't teach her. She struggles a little bit with math. She has a tutor because it didn't work. As much as a coach and mentor and teacher as I am with my own daughter, it just wasn't working. So we're letting someone else be that person, and I can just be dad. which is
Well,
the
I'm gonna be
other thing
bold.
that I
Yeah,
offer.
which you're really good at, and that's what you need to be, and that's the skill set you need to have is being a dad. Mom needs to be a mom. But I'll be bold here to say that you're saving families because this financial, what's the word with
Burden.
problem, burden, that's a great word, trickles down to all of the kids, right?
And it's sad to see these kids, the whole thing, the parental relationship, you just spend an incredible amount of money on college. You're disappointing your parents. You're disappointing yourself. You're working at Starbucks, not because you've done anything particularly wrong. You just weren't aware of how much preparation was required
Yeah.
to prevent that. And
Just
that's
comes
where
back.
this coaching comes in.
Yeah, it just comes back with you don't know, don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's walk through the journey of a client. So parents reach out, they've got a child, junior, senior in college. They're worried, got a big bill. How's that journey look like?
Sure. What I appreciate that. What I think makes my coaching different and is just absolutely critical is we don't just dive in like, let's clean up your resume. No, we need to build an understanding. We need to build a relationship of trust. I'm a very informal person. I hope you can already gauge that, but I'm here to help you. My entire focus is on you during our sessions. Let's dive into who you are, what you really want. What is your dream job? The big mistake that so many people make is they start down here. This is what other people are doing. This is a job I can get right now. And they're thinking too limited. Whereas I start with, okay, mom and dad are not here. Your classmates who already have landed jobs are not here. What do you love? Like, let's fast forward 10 years from now, you're sitting with your friends talking about your job. Tell me what that is. It's your dream job. Don't worry about money. Money's going to be there. Don't worry about any of this other stuff. Tell me what your dream is. I literally was working with a number of college athletes, a couple of them Ivy League school, Division I athletes. Economics major, like real, at one of the top schools in the country. Economics major looking for finance internships. During the call, I said, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling finance for you at all. I don't even think you like your major. I don't. Okay, then. So you grew up where I grew up. You grew up where, commutable to Wall Street. This is what most people do. So you felt like that's what you should do. And you have connections through your family. But no, let's turn that aside. Tell me, what's your dream job? It was almost like, a courtroom. What's your dream job? And she said, I want to work for Formula One. I said, now we're talking.
Interesting.
All right, then. So here's my next question, which often blows people's minds. Why can't you? You can. It's a London-based company with hundreds of employees. They have finance roles, they have HR roles, they have advertising roles, they have business development, they have customer relations, they have everything, contracts, lawyer, everything. Why can't you work there? But the name of my company is Guided Ascent. It's like an Everest expedition. I've been to the summit hundreds of times. I know how to get you there. It's not jumping to the summit. You got to follow a trail, right? You got to do the right things so you don't get all the problems that could result. So you're not going to work for Formula One tomorrow, but what are the steps we could take? What's the path? I'm telling you, they leave the meetings 2 inches taller. They're excited because someone finally heard them.
Yeah.
Or maybe even better than that, someone actually asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we start. And then it's about, okay, let's find a way to make that happen. And this has happened so many times, not just Formula One. We're talking about, working for the NHL or working for this organization. It doesn't matter. There's a path that we can develop together. And then, okay, all right, let's do the resume. Let's make sure it aligns. Let's find the steps. You need to build some skills. So while you're still in college, you need to start adding these skills that are going to help you do that.
Yeah.
And then so it's a bunch of things, identifying the right path. What's their summit? And what are the paths we could take to get there? And then orienting everything else around that. What are the jobs you want to really apply for, internships you want to apply for, and what is it going to take to apply for those? And what's the best messaging we can offer? Resume, cover letter, or personal narrative. And then the best part is when people recognize that you drift to the top because of the quality of the information that you're sharing, then you get invited for the interview. That's where the real fun begins. Because as I say so often, in the early stages of a hiring process, we have very little influence on the outcome. You never know what they're looking for. You don't know how many people there are applying. They could be looking for someone with 1 year experience or 1 month experience, diversity candidate. You just do not know. But once you've been invited for the interview, now we're in charge. Now we have a huge impact on the outcome because we're going to make you the best candidate in that interview room. And what makes me so happy is that it works.
Well, it's got to. It's so logical. I mean, holy mackerel. And every day is different. Monday, you could interview, you could put an application in, be different than Friday. They're tired on Monday, Friday, they're ready to go. Yeah, well, there's so many variables. You're right. And be in control of what you're in control of. What's one thing you would tell a parent or give a tip, piece of advice to communicate with their children about college?
So, again, this Talent Disrupted report is something that parents should check out. You just Google it and you can get a free PDF. The number one driver of successful graduate outcomes is the major that you choose. Number 2 is whether or not you had at least one internship during college. These have the greatest correlation to graduating with what is called a college level job. Going to what is called a selective college or university is third. It used to be, you went to a great college, well-known institution, top 20, you could just write your own ticket. Because back in the day, my thesis is that it was status over skill. Your natural raw talent, you went to a great school, you're going to make us look good, and we know we can train you up. It's upside down now. It's totally reversed. Fantastic that you want a great school. Actually, it matters because you're going to get an interview if you went to one of those schools. But when we're hiring, what we're hiring is skills. What we're hiring is what you can do the day you start. And that's a huge change. It's much more pragmatic, right? Much more cost efficient. Thinking in terms of, you need to add value right when you start. So it's about skill building and it's about starting early.
Skill building.
And
well, I like
so
to
often,
go ahead.
Often it's like, oh, this would be fun for a major. We're not thinking fun for majors. I'm sorry, guys. I want college to be fun, but your choice of major has to be purely kind of clear-headed. What's going to help me get the kind of job I want? And that is the conversation. When I talk to parents, that's a conversation I want them to have, and I arm them with the data.
And you, besides now they're knowing what they need to know, you make them accountable, which I think is a really big, powerful thing that you do. Your superpower, because accountability. I mean, you can give me all this information in the world, but I don't do anything. It's crap information.
Right.
Talk about your accountability.
In terms of
your work with the client and making sure, hey, here's what you know now, because what you know, but you got to take the steps, like you just said.
That's right. So, and that's what I have. What the way I work with people is, I would call it compassionate candor. I am here for you. I am your friend, but I'm going to deliver some tough messages if need be, in a way that you can handle. For example, I was working with a student who was getting interviews because of the quality of her resume. She was not succeeding in those interviews at all.
Wow.
So I said, okay, with the time that we have together, I'm going to tell you why I think that's the case, and then we're going to fix that. And that's happened many times, actually. Working with an incredible student at an Ivy League university, student athlete, who was getting in finance. They get what are called these super days. So if you make it to a more advanced round, then you come in for this super intense 4 interviews in a row with 3 people each. It's really intense, but wasn't getting any offers after those super days. And if you saw this person's resume, you'd say, this is fake. It's so impressive. But I said, so after working together, doing everything that I mentioned, let's identify the career path. Let's make sure all of the information about you, your candidate profile is really strong. Let's make sure all of that is absolutely perfect, optimized, so you're going to get noticed. But then we figured out, I think this is why you're not getting those offers, because you're too reticent in your interviews, or you're too nervous about certain aspects of your story that you just don't come across as confident. So we're going to address those head on, and you're going to have answers for all those things. And all of a sudden your comfort and your confidence are going to skyrocket, which literally happened. And then so you take last year's experience, which was no positive outcome, repeat this year, same invites, gigantic positive outcome that has this student basically made for a finance career for life because of the quality of the internship that he got.
Yeah.
And it's all a matter of just focusing on what's working, what's not working. Let's be very straightforward, and let's be very clear-eyed about it. Right? We're not here to just say, no, you're great, you're doing fine. No, we're here to find you success.
Get results. Yeah.
And
that's
it works.
the whole point.
Very outcome oriented.
Yeah. Coming to the end here. I forgot what I was going to ask. Well, I know what it was. We'll talk about your free workshops.
Yes.
Servant's Heart does free stuff, and we don't want to forget that. I'm excited about that.
And I love the way you talk about this stuff, Steve, because I live my life that way. I'm the guy, picks up the garbage in the parking lot and walks it, 100 yards to drop it in the can. But yes, it's really important that more people understand these messages and really are armed with the information that they're just not aware of. So I'm going to be hosting a monthly workshop delivering these messages to parents. And if they want to hop on, the students themselves, right? They're old enough, right, to take some of the tough news, but really inform parents on what's the situation in the job market out there. Why are our kids struggling so much? And it's not just these things we've talked about with majors and schools. It's about they live a different world than we did. Their communication takes place like this. So they don't have that professionalism and the communication skill that companies are looking for. So we work a lot on those things, right, in my work. But it's about educating families what it takes to succeed today, because it's completely different from before. So yes, I will be hosting a very regular workshop, probably monthly, that is a free workshop to inform parents, students, families about the current situation in the job market, what it takes, what employers are looking for, and what steps they can take to ensure a more positive outcome. And then also, I'm going to be launching a regular workshop to describe a very specific service, a selective service, which is called Campus to Wall Street. It's about helping students with an interest in finance land those jobs with the premier finance companies, because sadly, it's harder to get one of those junior internships that leads to a full-time job. It's harder to get one of those than it is to get into Harvard. And what people need to know is you want to start freshman year. You want to start as early as possible, because each hurdle that you clear dramatically increases the chances that you clear the next one. So if you've accumulated 2 finance internships during your college career, the chance that you're going to get that full-time job is not 2 or 3 times greater, it's hundreds of times greater. So that's what I help them do. So I'll be giving these free workshops to educate people on what it takes. And I'm happy to work with anybody who wants to work together, but it's about making sure that people know what it's like out there.
Yeah, that's huge. Audience, jump on that. We'll have all the links in the chat. Reach out to me and I'll get you connected, or reach out. We'll get Curtis's contact information. Love ending with a fun question here. So I've got a reservation at a restaurant for you, a table of 4. You obviously sit in one of the chairs. The other 3 chairs, who would you invite, whether they're dead or alive, and what food would you order?
Oh my gosh. And I have to come up with those names in 10 seconds.
Well, I mean, will pop in your head right away. What come to your head right away?
Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein. Who was I just thinking of the other day? FDR. Fascinating people, right? What would I order? My favorite food has to be Italian, so that would probably be the choice the restaurant I chose.
I have to bring a table chair too, because I'd love to sit at that table just for the food. If not listening to those incredible people, that's
Exactly.
fantastic. Thank you. This has been a blessed show. You're helping the world of education grow and be better, and it needs it more now than ever. And I appreciate that. How can people reach out to you and learn more?
Sure. Thank you, Steve. So you can find me at my website is jobreadygrads.com. That was an easier one to tell people about, Job Ready Grads. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Curtis Butler, but I also post regularly on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. On Instagram, it's Curtis A. Butler. I post regular job search tips for anybody, for students or reentry people or professionals just looking for some advice. If something pops in my head, I'm just turning on my phone now and posting some insights.
He ends with the servant's heart, begins with the servant's heart. That's a true servant's heart. Thank you so much. And I'll have all this information on the show notes. You'll be able to reach out to me too if you can't or need help to find them. I'll make sure you connect with them, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And here's why: the love of the link. What's that mean? These links are gifts. If you're listening, you're going, I just talked to my cousin. She's struggling with her college student child that she has. Well, you share this link with them. Guess what? It may help them. Maybe they reach out to Curtis. Maybe they go to the free workshop, which I suggest you send them to, or maybe they hire him. But any one of those things they do and they get a tip and it changes their life, you just gave them a gift. The impact and difference I mentioned at the beginning that Curtis is making, you can help others as well. So use these podcasts as gifts, because they truly are these wonderful links. And that's not my podcast, any podcast at all that you're listening to. If you think you can help somebody, share it. That's what a servant heart does. With that being said, me and Curtis want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.